You are not depressed or clinically anxious. I recently listened to Mark Manson's podcast episode on why this new generation is so unhappy all the time, and the effects of overusing therapy terms, trigger warnings, self-diagnosis, etc. Give it a listen. In the book The Big Leap, Gay Hendricks talks about this upper limit problem, in which our brain prevents us from feeling happy because we are always looking for threat. It's like a protection mechanism. We have the tendency to self-sabotage, to minimize our achievements, and to blame our success on luck, etc. Even when we achieve something, we go back to baseline happiness quickly. Basically, our brain's job is not to make us happy, but to survive. That's why we are always looking out for threats. So how do we solve this scenario of our brains constantly looking for or creating problems? Here are a few of my solutions. Every time I feel overwhelmed or I can't get out of my head, I refer to this list. Number 1. Ask yourself, apart from your thoughts, are you okay? 90% of the time, I think it's yes. You're physically safe and well, it's just all in your head. You're worrying about something, you're anxious about something that hasn't happened yet. And it's all in your head. Which leads to point 2. You don't need to engage in all your thoughts. This is the classic example that the thoughts are like the clouds and you are actually the sky. You are not the clouds. You are simply sitting back and looking at what's happening among the sky. Sometimes there are stars, sometimes there are clouds, and clouds just flow by. You don't need to hop onto every single cloud. Basically, get out of your head and remove yourself from the situation so that you can see things clearer. And one activity that I particularly like to do is to journal. I like to get a bird's eye view of what's going on and how I can actually respond to the situation. And this is what my therapist told me, the thought record. I tweaked it and I included in the Notion template that you can find in the link in the description box below. It's called Killing the Ants, the automatic negative thoughts, ants. Every time you have a negative thought that comes up from the situation, you write it down, and then you rate how much you actually believe the worst case scenario will happen, and the label that you're giving yourself. And then you come up with an alternative thoughts that can also be true. Because when you're deep in the situation, you can't see your way out. But if you lay it out on pen and paper, it's easier to spot the thought patterns. Usually when I encounter something negative, I jump to the worst case scenario. And then I just do this exercise and step back and then think about it. And there is actually a low probability that this will happen. So I try to come up with another thought that is more true, that will help me cope with the situation better. Number 4, another tip on zooming out. This is another way of looking at the problem that you're facing. So I'm in my room. So I try to zoom out, I'm in this suburb. I zoom out, I'm in Sydney, I'm in Australia, I'm in the Southern Hemisphere. And then I become like a smaller and smaller dot the more I zoom out. So if I look at myself from an alien's point of view, I can't even see myself, right? It's so small. And that will make me realize that the problem that I'm facing is also so small that it won't be significant at all. And in 3 months' time, I probably won't remember that I'm even worrying about this situation. Yeah, the point I'm trying to make is that most things that we are obsessed with don't matter in the long run. Number 5, some physiological solution. It's about how to get out of the rut and get out of your head. Sometimes you just need to get out and get moving. Get some sun, get into the nature, or as Tim Ferriss said, get a cold shower and get some macadamia nuts. You feel better, you start making better decisions, because your body and your mind are linked. Action is momentum. And here is this quote that I really like from a podcast episode that I listened to. Remember, thinking leads to action, overthinking leads to inaction. So observe your thoughts and your behaviors and you'll know whether you're actually thinking or just overthinking. Don't always trust what's in your head. Take more action and you will gain more knowledge or experience on how to figure your way out. Be aware of the stories, the beliefs, and the labels that you give to yourself. Sometimes I feel that this generation can actually use more tough love and build more skills and resilience instead of complaining about their situation or blaming their diagnosis. Of course, some might actually need professional help, and I'm not trying to diminish their experience. In fact, this is a big part of my work. But what I'm really trying to say is that on this channel, I'm trying to equip you with more tools that you can adopt in your own well-being journey. If it works, great. If it doesn't, go explore other options. This is a lifelong journey. If you like this video, I think you will also enjoy this custom playlist I designed for you on the well-being and personal development journey. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.